everyone, it's DKGM. Welcome back to another video. About a year ago I made a video where I made a roster for a hypothetical Smash reboot, and I don't think it's a stretch to say that it was pretty controversial. Many people were confused at my picks, and honestly, looking back at the roster, I'm confused too. So I think it's time to fix what I started, where I'll be making an all-new roster for a Smash Bros. Reboot again. So without further ado, let's get started. First off, I want to ask myself how many characters would be added to this roster. There really isn't a trend with any of the previous Smash games, but I landed at 44 characters. I think people may look at that number and say it's too much, especially for a reboot, but you gotta keep in mind that over the years, Smash has had almost 90 characters, and I have to add new characters as well, so I think 44 is a good number. I think some veteran fighters would also get redesigns for movesets, but I haven't played every Nintendo game, so I don't know what I could do for some characters, but maybe if this video gets enough support, I'll make a part 2 with veteran changes. So now we can get started with the characters, and obviously the best place to start would be with the Mario characters. I think it's pretty obvious that the returning Mario characters should always be Mario, Luigi, Peach, and Bowser. You literally cannot have a Smash game without these four. Going into other Mario universes, we of course will be bringing back Yoshi, Wario, and Donkey Kong as well. I'd say all three of these characters are as popular as even Peach and Bowser, so of course they're staying. For a while I debated on if Diddy Kong or King K. Rool should be brought back as the second Donkey Kong rep, and after a lot of thought, King K. Rool will be returning over Diddy Kong. K. Rool doesn't appear in anything else these days, and we could always go for more heavy than villains, so for this game, Diddy Kong will be taking a rest. Of course, we need a new Mario character as well, and no, it won't be Captain Toad like it was last time. I thought for a while, and eventually I went to the spin-offs for inspiration. After a while, I remembered about a Mario character that people always want to be in Smash, and honestly, I don't know why. Paper Mario. The Paper Mario games are very unique, and if we got Paper Mario, he'd be much different from normal Mario, using all the abilities he's had from his past games. And I honestly think he'd be pretty cool now that I think about it. Next, we can move on to the Zelda characters. Last time I cut Young Link and Toon Link, but this time I'm also cutting Sheik, so the returning Zelda characters will only be Link, Zelda, and Ganondorf. Trust me, cutting Sheik was hard, but I want to have a bigger variety in the characters I choose, because we'll be adding Impa as a brand new Zelda character. Yes, I still think Impa would be the best choice for a new Zelda character, and honestly, I don't know if her design would be from the original Hyrule Warriors or from Age of Calamity, but honestly I don't care, I just think Impa would be awesome. The next franchise I want to talk about is you subscribing to the channel. Just hit that button and it makes me happy. We're going to keep this next one short and sweet with Metroid. Just like the last video, I'm cutting Zero Suit Samus and Dark Samus so we can keep Samus and Ridley. While Zero Suit does have a unique playstyle, she is just another Samus. You may argue that I include Paper Mario, but it's Super Mario. He needs at least two of him. This next franchise was honestly pretty tough for me to decide who to keep, and that is the Kirby franchise. I really thought considering replacing Meta Knight with Marks, but in the end, I'm going basic and keeping the main three characters, Kirby, Meta Knight, and King Dedede. I feel like any other Kirby character just doesn't live up to these three, and it just feels weird to not have one of them. You could just say put all four in, but I have my reasons for the other characters in this roster. This roster had to make some hard choices that I was not ready to make. Now this is a big one. It's time to talk about PokéMoN. Once again, like in the last video, I am cutting Jigglypuff. I really do want to keep Jigglypuff since she is part of the original 12, but the Pokemon I am keeping and the new one that I'll be bringing in just outclasses Jigglypuff in every way. Jigglypuff just isn't as big as she used to be. Moving on to the returning Pokemon, it'll be the same as the last video. Pikachu, Pokemon Trainer, Mewtwo, and Greninja. Pikachu, obviously. Pokemon Trainer because it's 3 characters in one, which is super cool, and hear me out on this one. What if you could select only one Pokemon from Pokemon Trainer and use them by themselves with a brand new down B? If you want to hear more about that idea, just give this video some support and I'll consider a part 2. Mewtwo I'm keeping because he is by far the most popular legendary Pokemon, and just straight up a cool Pokemon as well. And Greninja because he has a cool playstyle, and in both the Pokemon popularity pools, Greninja won both of them, so Greninja has the popularity factor. As for the new Pokemon, there is one group of Pokemon that I feel needs to be in this game, a fully evolved grass starter. Looking at all of them, my two picks came down to Sceptile and Decidueye. Sceptile has been a pretty famous Pokemon since Gen 3 and has a really cool design, but I have to go with Decidueye. Decidueye has a great design, a really cool secondary type in the form of Ghost type, and there really is no dedicated archer in Smash, so I think Decidueye could fit that role perfectly for that, like how Incineroar fit the wrestler archetype. Also, I want to give a solid answer for a new Pokemon rather than just say, a new Pokemon, because that's boring, and I know you don't want to hear that. Real quick, we'll cover StarFox. I'm only keeping Fox and Falco because they have been in the franchise longer than Wolf, and Wolf wasn't even in Smash 4, and while Wolf is more unique compared to Falco, Falco has been changed a lot since Melee to the point where he's almost a completely different character to Fox. Next, we'll move on to the Mother series, where yes, I'll be bringing back both Ness and Lucas. To give you a hint of what you might see in part 2 of this video, I do want to give both Ness and Lucas specials that the two actually use in the Mother franchise, because neither of these two can actually learn PK Fire, Freeze, Pulse, or Thunder. And maybe I should have cut Lucas, but Smash is the only thing keeping Mother 3 fans over until nothing happens. We'll keep hoping until the very end. Time for a big franchise with a lot of cuts. Fire Emblem. Out of the 8 Fire Emblem characters, I'm keeping only 2. First off, we have to keep Marth. He's been here since the beginning in Melee, and is the mascot of the franchise. Then it became a battle of 7 characters. I immediately cut Roy, Lucina, and Chrom since they're semi-clones of Marth, and there's more we can do. I also cut Ike because Ike has already been in 3 Smash games and looks pretty similar to Marth. My next cut was Corrin because Fire Emblem Fates was kind of a controversial game, and they're kind of boring in general. So then it came down to Robin and Byleth. Both come from the best-selling Fire Emblem games and play the most unique from the cast, and I eventually decided on Robin. Robin comes from the second best-selling game after Three Houses, and Robin uses magic and her Levin Sword and as a resource management character. Also, Byleth was easily the most hated character when they came out, so Robin is my choice. I made the choice of only having 2 Fire Emblem characters because I'm picking a new character. Just like with Pokemon, I'm not going to give you a boring answer and say the newest character. Instead, I'm going with an older character, and this character is by far the most requested Fire Emblem character, and even after Byleth, I still see people want this character, and that's Lyn from the Binding Blade. Just looking at what Project M could have given us with Lyn makes me want her, and she's from the first Fire Emblem game that released outside of Japan, so she's part of the Fire Emblem history, and we only have 3 Fire Emblem characters, so does that make you happy? Before we move on to our Nintendo Lightning Round, we have to talk about F-Zero. And I'll save you the trouble and say we're only keeping Captain Falcon. But don't click off the video just yet, I have a surprise for later, but you'll have to wait and see what that is. I didn't want to add any other F-Zero character because I don't know what they could do. I mean, Falcon already had to have a completely original moveset, and since then we have gotten 1 new game, so I'm kind of lost. Time for the Nintendo Lightning Round, starting off with Pit and only Pit. Once again, no Palutena, and once again, that was a tough sacrifice. But you gotta keep in mind Kid Icarus is still only 3 games. Little Mac is here to stay, and for real this time, unlike the fake out I did last time. I owe it to myself and you guys for that one. We're also keeping Inkling because Splatoon is literally Nintendo's biggest new franchise and she needs to stay here. And for the new Nintendo characters, it's a Smash tradition to have a new rep from an older and dead franchise. This time I'll be adding Mach Rider. My Smash Crusade bias may be showing since he is my main in that game, but I think a Smash fighter who is always on a bike sounds awesome. Finally, for our last new Nintendo fighter, I'm going a bit newer and a lot more biased, and choosing Isaac from Golden Sun. Fans of Golden Sun have been waiting for a new game for the last 10 years now, and Super Smash Bros. 2 shows what Isaac can truly do. Oh my god, I forgot about Animal Crossing. Oh well. Time for the moment you've all been waiting for, the third-party characters. Obviously, we'll start with the returning ones, and I think the best place to start is with Sonic. I know Sonic sucks to fight against, but it would just feel weird if he wasn't here. It would feel like something would be missing, and that would be the blue blur. Next, we have Megaman, except we don't have Megaman, because instead, it'll be Mega Man X. I think this would be awesome to see, and while I haven't played the Mega Man X games, I think he could have some new moves and possibly be a bit heavier, as a semi-clone of Mega Man. Next up, Pac-Man. Arguably the most popular video game character of all time, so he needs to be here with all these other video game icons. And just like in the last video, I'm still keeping Ryu, the king of crossovers, and he needs to keep his title by staying in Smash, and we need a fighting game character, and Ryu is literally the fighting game character. Finally, this time we're not keeping Joker because that was a bad idea, and instead we're going to keep a character more people hate with Hero. Hero is by far one of, if not the most unique playing character, and while his down special can be annoying to deal with, you can't get mad at him. Also, we'll be changing the default appearance to the Dragon Quest III version, because by the time this comes out, we'll probably have Dragon Quest XII, so we'll go old this time. Of course, there are new third-party characters as well, and this is what you really have been waiting for. First off, Lloyd Irving from the Tales series. Lloyd has been requested for so long, and I think Namco needs a new character, and while I was considering either Heihachi or Jin from Tekken, I think Lloyd would be better. Also, we need a new anime swordsman, so this is the one. As I just said, I wanted to add a new fighting game character, like a Tekken character, so I went the other route and chose Scorpion from Mortal Kombat. Would this ever happen? No. Would they have to nerf Scorpion by an extreme measure for him to fit in Smash? Yes. Do I care? No. I just think he's neat. Finally, our last new third-party character is one that I think should have been put in Smash so long ago, Crash Bandicoot. In my last video for my E3 2021 predictions, I mentioned how I think Crash would be an amazing pick as a new platformer rep, and to round up the three rivals from the 90s with Mario, Sonic, and Crash. And I think by now, Sony probably wants some from Smash, so now's the time. And there you have it, your 44 characters for a hypothetical Smash Bros. Reboot. But while we're here, there has been something I was thinking of doing, and it sounds like a good time to do it now. You see, Smash Ultimate introduced an amazing concept that barely got off the ground, Echo Fighters. I think this reboot should continue the trend of giving Echo Fighters in Smash. And to spice it up even more, there will be no returning Echo Fighters. All 8 of them will be new, but that doesn't mean that existing characters who weren't Echo Fighters can't be Echoes now. So let's get started with your 8 new Echo Fighters. We'll be going in order of characters from my character select screen, so to start us off, Dr. Mario over Mario. This is one of the examples of non-Echoes becoming Echoes, and I feel like if the team didn't change Dr. Mario like they did in Ultimate, he probably would have been an Echo, but I think any incarnation of the Doc could work as an Echo. Maybe Ultimate Doc is too different, but I don't think Smash 4 or Melee Doc would be a bad choice either. I just feel like the Mario series needed an Echo. Next up we have Funky Kong over Donkey Kong. I also want to give the Donkey Kong series an Echo because I don't really think there's any good character to add as a new Donkey Kong character, because having Dixie Kong without Diddy Kong would be weird, and I don't think there's anyone who could be an Echo for K. Rool, so we have Funky Kong. I don't think much would be different. Maybe Funky could be a bit faster and have his up B become a rising move with a surfboard. For some reason, I felt like Pikachu needed an Echo Fighter, though I wasn't sure how. At first I considered bringing Pichu back, but Pichu has been in 2 Smash games now. Then I thought Pikachu Libre would be awesome, but I felt like it would take away the magic that was Pikachu Libre because she actually does play differently. But eventually I came down to Raichu. I don't really know how differently Raichu would play, but maybe he could be a bit heavier and have stronger moves. He would be one of the simpler Echo Fighters. Our other returning character turned Echo is going to be Roy over Marth. I felt like there should be a Fire Emblem Echo, and Roy is the perfect pick. It would be kind of weird to have Lyn but not Roy, even though we have Lucina and Robin but not Chrom. And since Marth has had 3 semicolons over the series, I think the one that was there with Marth at the beginning should stay. This character was in my last roster, but I feel like this time he fits more so as an Echo Fighter, and that's Black Shadow over Captain Falcon. There are definitely some people who prefer the older version of Ganondorf compared to Ultimate's version, where Ganondorf was literally just Heavy Falcon, and if the devs don't want to do much with Black Shadow, like how Nintendo does nothing with F-Zero, they can just reuse Ganondorf's old animations here. I feel like Splatoon needs a new character in some way. Splatoon 2 sold over 10 million copies and is a 6-year-old franchise with a 3rd game coming as well, but there really is no unique character that can be added, so I think an Echo Fighter would be the best route to go, and the obvious pick is Octoling. Maybe Octoling could have new weapons for their specials, but I can't think of much else they could have. The last 2 Echo Fighters are going to be from third-party franchises, so the next one will be Shadow over Sonic. Shadow was by far the most requested Echo Fighter for Ultimate that never actually became an Echo, and I was rooting for his inclusion as well. I don't know what Shadow could do that's different from Sonic though. Maybe he could have some new specials. There are some Shadow mods for Project M that show what Shadow could do, so maybe some of those moves would work. Finally, our last Echo Fighter will be for a new third-party character, and out of the 3 I picked, I'm going with Sub-Zero over Scorpion. Sure, the 2 may play differently nowadays, but look at Ken and Ryu. They play pretty differently from each other nowadays, but they're based on their older versions from Super Turbo. So who says we can't make these 2 based on maybe their Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 versions? That'd be pretty sick. There are so many more Echo Fighters I wanted to include, but couldn't because I felt like more than 8 Echo Fighters would be too many. I could have picked Dry Bowser over Bowser, Slippy over Fox, Nintendo over Ness, Glass Joe over Little Mac, Felix over Isaac, Miss Pac-Man over Pac-Man, Akuma over Ryu. It really doesn't end. But there you have it, your 44 characters and 8 Echo Fighters. Yes, I know Raichu looks weird on the selection screen, but there is nothing I could do. But I don't want it to end here. But it's not like we can just add more characters to the game, right? That's right, I'll be adding more characters as DLC. Of course Nintendo will do this, so why don't I do it as well? I'll be doing 2 seasons of characters with 4 in each pass. But before we get started with that, we gotta make a bonus fighter like Piranha Plant that would be offered for free if you got the game in the first 2 months. So here are your 9 DLC fighters, starting with the bonus fighter. Porky. You may be surprised to see a third mother character, but I wasn't going to add a highly requested character or a third party character, or both, as a bonus fighter. Most people wouldn't buy or even know this character exists, so I thought what would be a good and somewhat popular character to add, and my answer is Porky. I think it'd be cool to see Porky ride in his machine like in Brawl as a boss, and in Smash Crusade because I couldn't see him fighting on foot. Now it's time to move on to our first DLC fighter of the first fighter pass, starting with
back to base!
Zero. As soon as I put X into this roster, I had the idea of also putting in Zero to fully embrace the Mega Man X games, and Zero would be an awesome way to start the DLC. We already have an idea of what Zero could do thanks to Marvel vs. Capcom 3 and Infinite, as well as being an assist trophy in Smash already. While I was making the DLC, I knew we needed some returning fighters as well, so the next 2 fighters will be returning.
Valentina? Oh, I'm not here to save you, Pete.
Palutena. I think some people might be surprised to see me bring Palutena back, but you gotta keep in mind Sakurai made Kid Icarus Uprising, and it's kind of his baby now, and I think he would try to add anything Kid Icarus as DLC, and Palutena is the best way to go about that.
A bomb has been planted at the base.
Gee, can anyone take care of it?
Can't let you do that, STARFOX. Andros has ordered us to take you down.
Happy, long time no see.
Andros' enemy is my enemy.
Just what I need to see. Star Wolf.
Wolf. In both Smash Reboot videos, I felt really bad about cutting Wolf because he does play pretty differently compared to Fox and Falco, and he was a highly requested fighter when the Smash Ballad came out during the Smash 4 days. And while you may say I could have chosen a different returning character, I looked at all the fighters that didn't make it in this game and riddle me this. Would you be excited to see Lucario come back? I kind of would, but Wolf would be more hype.
Planet Bomber. The home of the Bomberman brothers, 8 righteous robotic lifeforms devoted to keeping the universe a safe place. Day and night, they train diligently.
Hey! I told you all to come to today's training. Why weren't any of you there?
Bomberman. I tried to think of a good way to end off the first fighter pass, and obviously I had to go with a third-party character. While there are many different third-party characters that are being requested, I also had to think realistically. Konami working with Smash again may not be too realistic, but I digress. I think Bomberman would be awesome to see. I may have SF2 bias, but you saw how many people were disappointed seeing Bomberman as an assist trophy. It's time Bomberman got, well, anything. Now it's time to move on to the second Fighters Pass, and if you thought this lineup was good, I made sure this second one would be more hype. Chrono. I did want to add a new Square Enix character since Hero might not be enough, but I don't think we'll get another Final Fantasy character, and Disney will not work with Nintendo to get Sora, so we'll have to get a little bit more obscure with Chrono from Chrono Trigger. I really have no reasoning for putting in Chrono, but I think how loyal the Chrono Trigger fanbase is, even without a new game since like Chrono Cross, it shows the dedication, and I want to make as many people happy, because I think this roster will be amazing by the end. Our next character will be the only Nintendo character of the second Fighters Pass, but you may not be expecting this one. Takamaru. I know you're either thinking, no way, or who? Because while I've already included an NES rep in the base game, hear me out. Recently I've been seeing so much outcry for a new Mysterious Murasame Castle game, so what if Nintendo was making a new Mysterious Murasame Castle and they wanted a way to promote the game? Nintendo's not strangers when it comes to promoting their new games in Smash, so it's not too far-fetched of an idea.
Power is not your defeat. This is the power to push forward.
Power is just power. The desire for all power leads to conflict, and that conflict leads to the ultimate battle.
Bison. As soon as Sephiroth was revealed for Smash Ultimate, fans have been wanting more villains as DLC, specifically Dr. Eggman, but we got Shadow. So I wanted to add a new villain from a third-party franchise that needed it, and pretty much my only option was to go with Street Fighter. And while Akuma would be a good choice, he would be pretty similar to Ryu and could be made in Echo if I wanted to. Chun-Li is also a more realistic option, but she gets into everything with Ryu, so it's time to give someone else the spotlight. Rayman. We need to end with, I have to say this again, a realistic option and a family-friendly option as well. Since we already put Crash into the game, I went with the alternative, which isn't a bad thing, in the form of Rayman. Obviously, he'd be based on his more recent appearances in Rayman Legends and Origins, and would play similar to how he does in SF2. But I haven't played a Rayman game, so just go off of what he does in SF2 and imagine that officially. And there we have it, 44 base game characters, 8 Echo Fighters, and 9 DLC characters, totaling to 61 characters. Is this too much for a reboot? Yes. Is this too much for a Smash game? No. Do I want to keep going with the video? No. But that's going to do it for this video though, guys. I hope you all enjoyed, and hopefully this video made it up to you guys for the last one. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in another video.